Greetings, you festering mummies. I hope you're doing well. My name is Graham, and welcome to the Crack-A-Pack here at LRRMTG. Please subscribe to our channel. Today, we're opening a pack of Amonkhet, the block without blocks. It's a very funny joke about the limited format. This pack was given to us, which is nice, but there's no name on it or any indication of where it came from. So, thank you, mystery donor. That was an extremely unsatisfying wrapper throw. Sick air. All right. First up, Nimbleblade Kenra. One in a red for a 1/3 Jackal Warrior with prowess. I think this was all right. A 1/3 for 2 that can be a 2/4 if you cast something. Sure. Why not? Sparring Mummy. 3 in a white for a 3/3 zombie. When Sparring Mummy enters the battlefield, untap target creature. Aspiring to earn their place in the afterlife, acolytes train every day against those who fell short of that glory. Okay, so it's a sparring dummy. That's the joke. Sparring dummy, but it's a mummy. It's the first time I said sparring dummy out loud and realized that that's exactly what the card is. That's weird. You're training against an animate corpse. Though the entire society of pre-devastation Amonkhet was odd. Their whole thing was a big ol' mess. This card was actually fine. There was some like white-black zombie shenanigans that you could do, wherein Sparring Mummy was totally sweet. And otherwise, it was a 3/3 for 4, which was medium. But you know what? It's all right. Naga Oracle is next. 3 in a blue for a 2/4 Naga Cleric. When Naga Oracle enters the battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put any number of them into your graveyard, and the rest back on top of your library in any order. So this neatly dodges the, I don't remember what owl that is, but the one that's just like, look at the top 3 cards of your library, you know, be sad about it. Yeah, it's fine. It's a 2/4 for 4, so it's not spectacular, but you know what it does? It actually blocks fairly well in a format where blocking was heavily disincentivized. Tormenting Voice, 1 in a red for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast it, discard a card, draw 2 cards. Good old card draw in red. They've reprinted that several times. Shed Weakness. I mean, look, we all love a good shed. 1 single green mana. For an instant, target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. You may remove a -1/-1 counter from it. So there was a green-black -1/-1 counters sub-theme. And so what this was actually fun for, there's a chance that you could be in green and your opponent could have put a counter on one of your creatures, but generally what this was for is there was a bunch of creatures that were like better rate than usual, but you had to put a -1/-1 counter on one of your creatures. And it could be that one, it could be a different one. You could get that 1/4 beetle and just load it up with counters. But this let you not only be a combat trick for only 1 mana, this could easily be +3/+3. This could just be giant growth, because you could take off one of those counters that you put there originally and make your creature bigger. I never saw it played that much, so I don't actually know if it was like good, but in theory, it's very sound. Doomed Dissenter is next. 1 in a black for a 1/1 human. When it dies, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. I love how they recently reprinted this in Crimson Vow, and it has a very different tone to it. Like, it's the same, by the flavor text, it's the same thing. There is only 1 fate left of those banished from the God Pharaoh city. So this person has dissented and been like, okay, you're out of here. You know, go out onto the wastes and you get killed and turned into a zombie. But, you know, in the Crimson Vow version, it's very immediate. There's all the, it's the people with torches and pitchforks have walked this dude to the edge of the village and they're like, all right, out you get. Which, you know, I kind of enjoy. But yeah, this is a fine card with a lot of usefulness, especially in that minus counters deck I mentioned. Compulsory Rest, which I believe at the time was called United Airlines, if I can remember correctly. 1 in a white for a creature enchantment. The enchanted creature can't attack or block, and the enchanted creature has, for 2 mana, sacrifice it, you gain 2 life. If you can remove this, and your creature can attack or block again, great. If you can't remove it, you can cash it in for 2 life. Why not? I guess it's pacifism with a downside, but it still gets rid of a creature, so. Sun-Scorched Desert. It's a desert, and it taps for a colorless. And when it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to target player. Neat. The only relief in sight is a mirage. This was just the common sort of filler desert, because you had that cycle of uncommon deserts that needed to sacrifice deserts. So this was one that you could bring in so you didn't have to just sacrifice itself to its own ability. There was a common cycle that cycled. This is a magic problem with too many words that are the same sort of thing. There was 5 common deserts in different colors that also had like cycling that were also good, because generally there was things that cared about having a desert under your control or in your graveyard. So anyway, the point is Sunscorched Desert was medium. But sometimes you just needed an extra desert. Oh, this card's great. Splendid Agony. 2 and a black for an instant. Distribute 2 -1/-1 counters among 1 or 2 target creatures. This messed up combat math so much, you could just kill something with 2 toughness. Sure, and that's fine for 3 mana. But you could also just ruin combat math and potentially 2 for 1 with this thing. Or you just, put counters around, then add more counters to things with counters. I like Splendid Agony a lot. Pursue Glory. Hey, every set needs a Trumpet Blast. 3 and a red. That's an expensive Trumpet Blast. For an instant, attacking creatures get +2/+0 until end of turn, but it also has cycling for 2. So, if you really don't need it right now, you can get rid of it. Does that make it better? Yes? Better enough to play it? No? At least I never saw it. Oh, the Bontonument. It's Bontu's Monument. 3 mana for a legendary artifact. These are legendary. And it wasn't until I think it was Amonkhet Remastered hit Arena that I realized that these were legendary. Black creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, and whenever you cast any creature spell, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. It's not the best monument, but it's not the worst. I would say it is definitely a solid monument. I would say that the best monument is Oketra's Monument, which is our next card. Holy moly. 3 mana artifact, legendary artifact. White creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 1/1 white warrior creature token with vigilance. Yeah. Just go wide. Get that Pursue Glory in there finally. Oketra's Monument is fantastic. It's honestly, so far, it's first pick. And I don't think it's especially close either. But we got another uncommon and a rare, so let's see what happens. Destined to Lead. Oh, fun. We get to talk about Aftermath. So Destined is 1 and a black for an instant. Target creature gets +1/+0 and indestructible until end of turn. All right. So that's good combat trick. 2 mana, you get to kill something, possibly even trade up. Nice. Then, the other half of the card is Lead, and all the Aftermath cards that did this, they all had an implied 2 in the middle. Previously there was the split cards that had an and these ones have a 2. So this one is Destined and Lead. Specifically, it's Destined to Lead. And it's a sorcery with Aftermath. Aftermath you can only cast from your graveyard. So you gotta cast Destined first or get it into your bin in some other way, and then you can cast Lead, which in this case says all creatures able to block target creature this turn do so. So you can use Destined as a combat trick and then use Lead later as like one of those big lures where all your other creatures get through. Or if you got 6 mana, you can do both in the same turn and be like, this creature's indestructible. Also, all your creatures have to block this creature. Then that creature doesn't die. All your other creatures get through. It's pretty cool. I like it. All right, what's the rare? Ooh-hoo-hoo. Ooh-hoo-hoo. Nissa. Steward of Elements. We got a Planeswalker. I don't remember the last time we opened a Planeswalker on this show. This was the first, I believe, X-cost Planeswalker. So it's X green blue for an X loyalty Nissa. +2, scry 2. For 0, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card or a creature card with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of loyalty counters on Nissa, you may put that card onto the battlefield. And for -6, untap up to 2 target lands you control. They become 5/5 elemental creatures with flying and haste until end of turn. They're still lands. So if the game is going long and you get to 8 mana, you can just land Nissa immediately -6 and hit them for 10 in the air. that happened. That's a thing that happened. Or, you know, if you have protection down, like if you have a creature or two on the board, you can, you know, cast Nissa for 3 mana, comes down with 1 loyalty, plus 2, immediately up to 3. You know, and then start potentially just casting lands or creatures off the top of your deck for free. You know, it was the last ability that made it really backbreaking and limited, but yeah, that's very cool. And we got a forest and an insect token. So that's neat. In terms of first pick, if this were me drafting, it's a tough call because I feel like Oketra's Monument is the correct first pick, but Nissa's very cool, and how often do you get to open and first pick a Planeswalker? So I would probably take Nissa, even though I think that Oketra's Monument is probably correct. What's funny about this from a value perspective is that Oketra's Monument and Nissa are in the top 3 of most expensive card in the pack, but neither is number 1. No, in fact, Bontu's Monument is, I'm sorry, did you say over $6? Oh, Commander, I assume. That's cool. I like that a lot, actually. That's awesome that Bontu's Monument is worth over $6. And then, yeah, number 2 is Oketra's Monument, which is worth a little more than this Planeswalker. Cool. Well, hey, thank you again to our mystery donor. Appreciate it. If you want to be a not mystery donor, please sign your packs. You can send packs to our address, which is on your screen at the moment, or you can just support us directly by becoming a patron on Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyron. No, that doesn't work. That's a wrong name. I can't make it rhyme like that because that's just sending you to the wrong place. I don't even know if that's really a thing. It's Loading Ready Run. Please do support us. We really appreciate everybody that does. I've been Graham. James has been running tech. Matt edits these. Heather gets them online. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye, everybody.